The first 5 years of our office, we would do projects, whatever comes our way. Because we both knew, even after spending 5 years in college, me doing an international master, him working with someone, it was still not enough to have enough experience to walk up to a client and say, this is what you need to do, this is how things are going to be done.
Some point of time, ஏண்டா எடுத்தோன்னு எல்லாருக்கும் தோணுது.
இன்னைக்கும் தோணுது.
How do you handle difficult clients? Give us one or two examples. One or few buildings in Chennai that you think is really well designed and inspired.
I don't think I've seen anything like that. நம்ம ஊர்ல river தான் ceiling light. The moment you make your client talk about what you've done, no, you're sold.
Do something crazy டான்ட்டு the flight இடிச்சதுல அந்த மாதிரி பில்டிங்ல இடிச்சிட்டு ரெண்டர் பண்ணி அனுப்புனா இந்த அளவு crazy ஓகேவா? And always one hack I'll tell you, when you're sending the presentations to client, let's say you're at the fourth option, either let it be plan or view or whatever it is, always cumulatively add all the previous work. So when I wanted to have this Huddle, he was the first option, and he was the first choice, obviously, and he agreed to come. And so formal introduction about Kishore. He is the founding partner of K-Square Architects. They are based in Adayar, and Kishore is kind of a big picture guy, and he tends to look at things from an attitude of altitude, offering a bird's eye perspective on the values and systems that make K-Square tick. Everything from design concepts to project management, accounting to finance, marketing and HR. From the firm's procedure and policy manuals to the software and hardware system that allows them to produce outstanding architecture and interior design, you can be assured that he has everything covered. His approach to architecture is set by his belief that it is perfect profession to explore the synergy between the left and right brain capacities. He has an architecture degree from SRM. How many of you are from SRM here? So he's from SRM. And he has a master's in project management from Manchester University, UK. And it uniquely qualifies him to address both of the worlds, art, architecture and construction. He started his design career by winning an international design competition for a project in Colombo while he was working with Studio 7 Consultants, which eventually led to future commissions in Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Ethiopia. I think இதெல்லாம் ஒரு ரெண்டு ப்ராஜெக்ட் நம்ம collaborate பண்ணோம்.
Yes, we did. The Ethiopia one.
His strong design and management skills were sought for in the position of AGM design of a 1.8 million square foot project with malls, hotels and cinemas by Mark Group, a large developer from Chennai. A sense of playfulness and curiosity to the spaces he designs is the result of his passion for life, which comes from his interest in culture, management and adventure sports. Being an avid adventure seeker, his love for outdoors has him paragliding and kite surfing around different parts of India. He is passionate about the power of design and exploring its possibilities. Welcome, architect Krishna Kishore.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask him a few questions and we will also have a Q&A session. Why I wanted to have a guest Kishore is one of the most successful practices. Like I didn't mention to you, he's done 150 theatres across India. Okay.
Oh wow.
He's done a lot of resto bus across the state, and he's a very smart design come executor. Recently we were discussing about a project he completed in 45 days, 6,000 square foot, 1.5 crore project. 45 days la design execution எல்லாமே பண்ணிட்டான். ஒரு பெரிய பில்டருக்கு sample apartments and their marketing off. So he did the design in 2 days, traveled to Delhi, Jodhpur, sort of kind of collected all the materials, assembled and done. Every month, 2 weeks, he'll be in China.
Every month.
So he flies to China often and he knows what's happening and he's very keen in exploring what's happening around the thing. Whenever we speak, we always keep speaking about, what problems to solve. And those kind of conversations are engaged. So the first question to Kishore he is successful. I want to take through the journey, how he started and what made him reach wherever he's reached. First question, what was your first ever project as a designer? What do you remember most about it?
First of all, good evening everyone. Lovely to see such a big crowd. And nice to see your facility.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, sir. So, coming to the question what you asked, I think you want to know a bit of the journey and project which we cherish.
First question, your first project, what do you remember about it?
The very first project was, which I individually did, was actually when he mentioned about the international design competition which we attempted and we did. That's the first project that actually I can recollect. So, I was doing my master's in UK. Then I had a friend in Chennai who had a institution. So he was building a new block and he said, Kishore, you have done your project management. So I'm doing this construction. Why don't you come and help me out with it? And my time was limited in UK. So I came back knowing that I have an offer in hand. So I went and I thought I'll assist him. But understanding the Indian construction scene was totally different. Unless you go down, up, you really can't understand what happens. So it wasn't my cup of tea. But then there was a Studio 7, was a design company, was designing the project for my friend. So I instantly used to visit them and see what's happening with respect to design. So then there was an email that just came out of the blue saying this is a design competition, and I was going through the mail, though I was not part of the team officially. It seemed very interesting, and I asked the principal of Studio 7 saying, are you going to attempt? He said, yes, why don't we attempt? So he said, there were 3 entries we sent from their office. One, me being from outside. So I said, I'll send my own entry. And they were gracious enough to accept mine as part of this because they qualified as a company. And I was more like a freelance. I was just giving a blind shot at it. So there were 2 other entries from the same office and mine. So we sent out 3 entries instead of 1. So ultimately, the entry which I sent got selected. And then they made me the head of the project. And the international journey started off from there. So it was a whirlwind love of travel and architecture and interiors and learning, detailing, people, management. So everything packaged into a whole 1 year of nice high pressure design work. So we designed the project in Chennai. The location was in Colombo. The contractor was from Dubai. His wife was Chinese, so it was a factory in China. So I used to pack my bags from Chennai, go to Colombo, see the site. From there, fly to Dubai for the design discussion. And from there, go to China to see the production. And then come back to Colombo to make sure everything is fine. And then I drop into the office. So this went on for a loop of 1 year, and it was pleasantly a beautifully turned out project end of 9, 10, 11 months. Yeah. That was the first fond memory of any design that I can think of. It was basically a commercial retail space. It was called Ranjana's by 7 Stories. So it was in it's like probably like how Spencer Plaza is there in Mount Road. It's a similar location in Colombo. So I still remember very vividly that when the whole project was done and the launch happened, everyone left and everything was there, and I was so attached to the project. The last light was switched off and I was still standing outside, and I was just recollecting the whole journey of getting the space done up. So I think the very first project, I think it's a very nostalgic thing and it's very close to your heart. So that's how I rejoice doing the whole project.
In everybody's life, எல்லாரோட லைஃப்லயும் when we study architecture, no, some point of time ஏன்டா எடுத்தோன்னு எல்லாருக்கும் தோணிரும்.
இன்னிக்கும் தோணுது.
Or we would have had a very slow start. Like I didn't start taking architecture seriously for the first 2-3 years. I was always on the ground playing volleyball or running. When did you, or what moment or what instance where you thought, okay, fine, I have to take architecture seriously?
Oh, not architecture. Architecture seriously.
ஆமா. As a career, as a craft. ஏன்னா even today, chance கொடுத்தா ஓடி போயிடுவேன்.
See, I took up architecture purely because when I was asked to choose something for my undergrad, I knew I didn't want to do BCom. I knew I didn't want to do medicine. I didn't want to do engineering. So what is one course which doesn't have any of this or probably has parts of all of this? And architecture was like a beautiful interwoven lines of all these 3 coming together. I mean, in retrospect, I can tell it was all beautiful. That day I was like, no, none of the above. I took architecture, frankly speaking. Not knowing too much about it, but then I was excited about whatever was coming my way. And a little background about it, my family is into material trading. So there's a slight inclination saying, okay, they're already into the field of interior material product trading. So maybe there's some alignment. So that just tipped me towards architecture. That's all it is. Not like I was a big passionate guy or I dreamt of being an architect one day, nothing of that sort. As a matter of fact, I didn't dream I'll start an office when I finish my undergrad. So things happen much later. I would say trying to be a prodigy probably.
Describe your almost 20 years, 17 years of architecture in one sentence.
Patience.
One word?
Yeah. When we take up this field, right, design and architecture, number one, it's not, unlike European countries or Western countries, the value they give to a service, a consultancy, a design is much lower than to a product or a delivery. So coming from that background and perspective and choosing this thing, and imagine at the same time, probably the time when I took it up, every single cousin of mine would be just IT. Their career path will be very clear. At 6th or 7th grade, they'll start planning for their IIT. If they reach IIT, very good. If not Pilani, one best college in the city. And that too ECE, EEE. And once you finish this, go into engineering, come out, get into training, get into IT, fly to US. This was like the clear roadmap, Google Map roadmap given to them. Now, well, everybody was doing this. I didn't even look the direction I chose this. Fortunately for me, my family, they didn't really question me saying, you need to make money by this day or you need to show your progress by this day. They just let me take my own journey. So now that I've chose architecture, first of all, it takes 5 years to understand why we chose architecture. Forget learning architecture. Now, after 5 years, when you come out, now you're trying to wonder, there are so many aspects to this field. Which one am I going to go into? And so it takes a very long gestation to be a designer and then come out and learn and unlearn and create an identity for yourself where people look at you for a particular specialization and respect you and give the due value that you ask and deserve. So if you want to go down this path, patience is the only thing that can actually make you go sustained day after day after day to build it. It's like building a house. It's like brick by brick you build, and then you see a palace ultimately. But until you see the palace, you got to keep going on. You got to keep pushing, which is a pretty challenging stuff. But again, every brick you put, when you turn back, you see a bit of progress and you feel very happy about it. And that's how you need to look at this profession. That 20 years is about, yeah, it's all the patience and it's very exciting profession, as a matter of fact. Because one day you're working with a client who's building his dream home. One day we're working with someone who's doing a commercial space. One day we're working with someone who wants to build a place where he can throw the best parties for other people. And one day we were actually designing a lighthouse. So I would say that the charm of our office is the diversity of the projects that we do. And that's what keeps us actually feeling excited to come back to office every single day.
Good. So the next one, have you done any, obviously you would have done, I hope so, any costly mistake, one or few, and how did you manage it, or did that mistake prove to be a blessing in disguise in your projects earlier?
Yeah, super costly mistakes we done. Like phenomenally costly mistakes. I think the mistake is not the challenge. It's about you need to be cognizant that you actually made a mistake, and you should be willing to double down the amount of effort you put to make sure other people realize that you're actually patching up for the mistakes that you're doing. If you deny that you made a mistake, right, that's the biggest problem. If you're making a mistake is not the challenge. Denial of actually making a mistake and not taking the right actions is what is the challenge, in my opinion. For example, we were designing one of the first projects when you said this is another project that flashed in my head. The very first residential project we did was in Nungambakam, and it was 12,000 square feet residence. And it had 2 blocks, and then internally there's a swimming pool on the 2nd floor, and we had to connect the 2 blocks to the bridge. So we did a lot of stuff, and we did some metal work and all that. Though the client thought we knew what we were doing, and we thought what we were doing, until things came up to the site, we really didn't understand what was happening. That was quite an expensive mistake at that time. But since we were willing to put our effort and time in rectifying, getting things done, the client understood our intent. He could feel the pain in our eyes than his own eyes of the mistake. So when he said that, I see that you guys wanted to get it really right. So he gave us the confidence saying, okay, go on, get it done properly. So yeah, it was a mistake, but again, it's the way we projected to our client saying, this is what happened, this is what we're trying, this is what we're attempting. So once they understood what was in our mind and what was our intentions, then it wasn't too difficult to handle.
Have you lost money by making mistake? Big time? Small time?
Yeah, many times. Many times we lost money. Lots of times. But again, that's the lesson. That's whatever amount of money you lose is the fee you pay to learn from the mistake. That's all it is.
How has your approach to projects and clients changed in the first half of your practice and the second half? Obviously, second half you would have had a lot of experience and your brand value and the reputation.
Yeah.
How was it when you started out, and how is it going now, the second half?
So when we started, right, I have a partner. His name is Karthik. We studied together in school. And then we bumped into each other. Yeah. We would have probably spoken to each other for not more than 4 or 5 lines in the whole period of our 2 years in school, 11th and 12th together. And we bumped into each other in SRM. So first day I go to school, college, he comes to college, like, hey, nee enna pandra kind of things. So like, I'm going to study architecture, so do I. So that's how we actually started getting to know each other. So 5 years we traveled in architecture. And then he was working with Mr. Pramod Balakrishnan, Edifice Consultants. And I did my master's and I came back. So while I was there and while he was in India, we were communicating and we realized that probably our wavelengths align and we can start off, and that's how we started off. So when we started off, I come with a different set of skill set into my company, and my partner comes with a totally different skill set. So when we started, what we decided together mutually was the first 5 years of our office, we would do projects whatever comes our way. Because we both knew, even after spending 5 years in college, me doing an international master's, him working with someone, it was still not enough to have enough experience to walk up to a client and say, this is what you need to do, this is how things are going to be done. For that, we needed to go through the grind, we needed to go through the whole process of delivering a lot of work, a lot of projects in multiple categories. Only then we can actually say, yes, I am qualified to actually dictate or command something over someone else. So for the first 5 years that is actually the first 5 years of education, frankly speaking. So the 5 years I said, we don't care about the fee. We don't care about the category of project. We don't care about the location of it. Anything that came our way, we took it and we did it. So that's how we built this strong sense of diversity in our office. So residences, I think it's natural for everyone to start off with residence. Your uncle, your someone, your grandpa or grandma, somebody would actually be happy to actually hand over a small space, a small residence. So residence is not a challenge, but we really threw ourselves, any opportunity came through commercials, corporate interiors, F&B. Like I said, we in fact designed a lighthouse because of that. So not that we've done any lighthouses before. So we just traveled around to 5 different lighthouses, stood there, understood what it was, and then we documented them, and then we proved to them saying, yes, we can attempt it, and we did it. So the 5 years was actually the study what we did. And 5 years later, the approach totally changed. Now that we have a trove of information and knowledge and approach and understanding, we said we need to specialize now. It's great to be generalist because you feel you can go do whatever you want. But then people don't want someone who can do anything. They want someone who can do something really good in something. So after that, what we did, we started seeing where is the gap, and then we found a niche called cinemas and multiplexes where there were not many designers in that space. So we said for a couple of years, we'll double down on this particular segment, and then that's how our journey into cinemas happened. And from there, we started, now we're doing our 192nd screen, which is going on right now. So that's a vertical. 192.
192.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'll tell a small story about that first cinema he got. I was part of a firm where I was CEO, and we were pitching for the same project. We thought we almost had it. Like, we've had around 5 to 6 meetings with the client. I was not the main designer. I mean, the design head was discussing. I was the CEO of the firm, so I went in for meeting. So we were waiting for the project. Okay. But eventually one day Kishore called and he said, Machan, I need a project manager. Enna project? He told cinema theatre. Like, we keep calling each other for any references. Right? The idea of Huddle came from there only, because whenever we have a problem, we have like 4-5 people of our same batch. We have a group called SOS. He only started it. And we keep sharing resources or verified connects and reviews. Somebody goes for employment to him, and if there's a mention about the name working with me, the same way he'll call Terma Terada, like that. So he calls me and he says, I need a project manager. I said, in the area, I mean, enna project abdinona? He said, interiors come renovation of cinema theatre. In the area cinema theatre, he told the area. Okay. Hey, on the theatre abdina. He said yes abdina. Hey, engalukku vara vendiyadhu adu. So anyways, okay nu solta I gave him a connect. I think there was a resort which I did it in Kotagiri. Yeah. Okay. They are his friends from UK, and he gave them a design because friends indradhanaala he even gave. This is after 2 years after him starting the firm. Okay. Yeah. He was not just starting as a freelancer. And that evening, naturally we were meeting and we were chilling out, and he was like, Vachina, resort on a convert panta. And it was resort, Sloppy Hitler, Kotagiri. அப்புறம் சொல்லிட்டு சூப்பராக கோத்தகிரியா அப்படின்னோடனே ஆமாண்டா கிளைண்ட் யூஎஸ் ஃபோன்லேயே யூகே ஃபோன்லேயே பேசி கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன் பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் அ பிக் டீல் ஐ எம் டாக்கிங் அபவுட் 2013 for 12 years before that அப்போலாம் we were just starting out, we were hungry for project. இவனே don't tell me the client's name is this அப்படின்னா எஸ்டா அவங்க தான். So but we went and had some beers நினைக்கிறேன். So I still remember. So from that first project, I think 192, it's an amazing thing. And as I said, he's a very smart executor of design projects. So when I say he will assemble them, like how to do it in a smart way, compared to me where I follow the process. That's late aanala enakku prachana illa. I will follow the process so that I get this again. He'll be like, he'll improvise a lot, and he has his own structure or strategy or formulas worked out. He has few formulas, like how movie directors have few formulas, like commercial padana eppadi irukano, comedy padana eppadi irukano, and the mari he has his own set of formulas. Fine. So the next question is, how do you handle difficult clients? Give us 1 or 2 examples. How bad has it gone?
Earlier, what define difficult? I mean, what kind of difficult are we talking
Someone
about?
slapping you.
No, we wouldn't let that happen. We would do the other thing. It would be the other way around.
I once got slapped by a client.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just told him, I told him I'm not your fucking servant. He was a big guy, I mean, very old guy. He got into my nerves. He was actually bad-mouthing my project manager in front of me.
Okay.
Like, we are not your fucking servants. I lost my cool. Anyways, அந்த அளவுக்கு இல்லாட்டியும் கேஸ் போட்டுருவேன், or கொடுத்த காசை திரும்பி வாங்குறது, sending 30 lawyers to office, அந்த மாதிரி.
I mean, fortunately, in the whole spans of our time, we never had any clients like that. Or rather, we would never let the client cross a line. I think when they talk to us, they know how to talk to us. We put them, I wouldn't say putting them in place is the wrong thing. It's about, when you go talk to a person, right, you know how you should speak to a person. So you wouldn't go speak to your father or your uncle in a particular way, or you wouldn't go speak to an idol in a particular way. You automatically, your body knows how you speak. We try to establish that with the client. So when they come to us, they know they're coming to a professional. It can be a 5% variance of left and right from what they have or what we have in wavelength, but they are coming to someone who is actually delivering a dream for them. They can only imagine, but we can actually get it done for them. If you make them understand that these guys can actually deliver, these guys are qualified, they've put their time and effort into it, then they mutually, the respect automatically comes.
Fine. And have you ever walked away from a project for any values, ethics, or certain reasons, or non-payment or anything? Have you walked away?
Yeah, certainly we have many times. Probably not in the first 5 years of office, but after this, yes, we have. See,
Why should you walk away?
See, first thing would be the misalignment of expectations. So they would come expecting something, and we would have a particular way of working. We are extremely flexible. I can be really proud to say that we are one of the most flexible offices that can be there to understand a client. We bend not 360, 720 degrees across our back to make sure something comes up if we have to deliver. Now, when someone does so much and still if you're not able to satisfy or get an alignment with the client, there's no point doing anything more. So it's nice to say, thank you so much for the journey so far. I've learned something, you learned something, let's move ahead.
What's one tool or system that transformed or a process, system, tool or a process that converted or transformed the way your team handles projects today? Like before and after. Idhikku varaikum we were like struggling, pathetic, and what did you implement that changed the way you and your team works?
See, like when we all studied in college, right, nobody taught us how to run a project, nor have anyone taught us how to run an office or how to manage the people who are involved in the project. What we are taught is very, very academic, which 90% we don't apply now. So what you learn after that, like I said, the first 5 years, what we learned is what are the learning we have. What changed in our office was, see, in the beginning, we were very bit, everyone starts very boutique, right? So one does every single thing in the office. Sometimes, I mean, even now, sometimes I do that. But when you do everything, your role is really jumbled up. And the office is more like a Belpuri. You don't know what is what, who is doing what is what. You really can't make out. You look at the thing, it looks like an office, but everything is there, but I don't know what is what, kind of a thing. So, but that was needed at that time to handle the kind of work we're doing with the resources we had. But as we started growing, then we started putting systems in place, teams in place. We started developing responsibility for each person. And we used to take the best, I would say, the guy who put the most effort, not the best design talent guy, the guy who put the most effort always got promoted to become the team leader. So once they were being recognized for their effort, they would take up the responsibility and they would start planning things for us. So we had more bandwidth and time to address other aspects of the office, like be it design or be it the growth, be it client meetings, be it vendors, research, whatever may be. We did that, and so once the clear defined roles were given to our team members and they started taking more responsibility, things became more streamlined and we started handling much bigger projects. We were able to confidently bid for a lot of work. Otherwise, we knew we had the capacity, but we didn't have the faith or courage to actually go out and speak out and tell, we can handle, we know we can handle, but please give us a question. We could never ask them for a project. Once I was strong about my office, then it's like anything comes our way, we can do it.
Okay, what about AI? Are you using it? What is your thought about it?
Yeah, we do dabble a bit with AI. I don't personally use, but I have a few guys in my office who are pretty good at it. I wouldn't say pretty good. From my perspective, I seem to be good. But SSR, I think he's done a lot more in that space. We definitely do a lot of AI. For example, earlier when you're coming as a designer, right, you probably have to design the project and give. Today, the client comes and says, can you do a revenue analysis for me for this project? And I have no idea where to go get the revenue analysis for a project like this. So when questions get thrown like this, AI is a fabulous tool for us. So we just feed in the kind of project, what we do, what's in our mindset, what kind of result we expect it to give. We punch in the whole thing and it gives us the format. We take it, tweak it, and then put it part of our presentations. We've got a couple of corporate projects because we were able to address these answers and other guys were not able to. So I would say definitely an edge to apply this in the projects what we do.
Okay, and what are your future plans for K-Square? If you can tell it to the public. Stealth mode lenda vena.
No, not really. I mean, it's nice to have a feedback once they know what it is. So when he was asking about how we look at our office, right? So, like I said, after the first 5 years of being generalists, we started focusing on particular segments. Now, when he was introducing, he mentioned about theaters to you guys. Then next he mentioned about bars and resto bars. So those are very conscious decisions that we take at our office. It's not like we don't do other aspects of our office, but what is the identity that we seek for the next short term is what I plan to structure for my office. So when we started doing theaters, we went all out. We traveled to 6-7 different states. We established our contacts, and now it's almost like the project comes to us, and if we're not in a bandwidth to do, probably it goes to someone else. And that's how I would like to see a structure for a particular segment happening. So we like to build silos within our office for different segments. So the next few years, now the theaters is pretty much set up for us. We would be looking at doing a lot of F&B bars and resto bars. That's a nice. These are spaces which excite me personally. Residence is it's like a very soulful design. You build for someone's particular choice and lifestyle and all that. When it comes to cinemas and theaters, you design for a big crowd. How can you excite a large crowd with the small design details what you can do? We started shifting towards how to address the design to a larger group. Now the other spaces like bars and resto bars are things which are happening now, which are coming up now. And it's the art of gathering that we're trying to design over there. So that's another exciting segment for us to look into. So that's something which we're developing right now. And always at the back of my mind is some corporate interiors have always been there. So probably after about year and a half, we will look into another segment also being set up in our office. So I personally like to set up these nice columns and silos, set up a team for it. And those teams become really masters in that segment, and we can comfortably go pick up projects.
What advice would you like to give for somebody at 23 years of age who's starting their freelance, 23, 24, 25?
First is, like I said, you got to be really patient about this particular field, because this is like, I think people have told you about this. Unlike other fields, right, where you go into IT, where your growth is like pretty much like a 45-degree line, growth in this particular field is like a hockey stick. So it just goes down, and then suddenly when you really beefed up with all your contacts and few projects behind you, and you know your team and all that, that's when the growth really shoots up. But till the time you come to that inflection point where your growth really shoots up, you really have to dig your heels in and then keep going at it day after day. For that, I don't think money will drive you. I think only a liking towards your profession is the only reason why you'll keep going back and doing it every single day. So those questions is the most enjoyable part for me. If it excites you, and the feeling, right, when you finish a project and look back, right, it's like, oh my God, we were on a grind like 45 days, 60 days, 1 year, and then finally somebody's actually going and enjoying the space. And that person will not be you. You're just walking away. That's it. It's done, and then you walk away towards the next one. Someone else is enjoying the space. Though I think I felt more happier about delivering a place than someone receiving their own project. It's like fantastic. And it becomes your baby for a small period of time. And then the next project comes on, and we try to beat our previous work. So the ever longing desire to do something better the next time is what keeps pushing us.
Brilliant. So what kind of legacy, or how would you like people to remember K Square Architect?
I quite haven't really put so much of thought or legacy part into K Square, because if I actually put a framework saying I want to be remembered like this or thought like this, right, I'm actually going to the end line, and I really don't want to go to the end line. I don't want to see the end line itself, because if I know the end line is, I know it's definite. I know this is how it's gonna be. I've grown our office, taking it one day at a time, probably selfishly understanding what I love doing and then positioning the whole office around it. And that is why we're able to take it, move it forward day by day. If you really want me to actually answer a question, probably I think people would be remembering us for the kind of diversity of work we do. That's something is like a very generic answer that I can give. But I really wouldn't say as an endline legacy, K Square has to be like this. Let them also enjoy, seeing our growth every day. Let what kind of projects we do. We want to enjoy seeing what we do. So I think just trust the process and enjoy the process and just keep going on.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the long answers.
Right.
I have a rapid fire.
Oh, can't wait.
First thing, what time do you wake up every day?
Oh, me? Depends on my kids' school timing, frankly.
7, 6?
Yeah, I do. Most of the times I'm up by around 6:37, yeah.
Sketch or CAD?
Oh, sketch. Any day sketch. I hate CAD.
One material you overuse and love it anyway?
Marble.
Marble?
Yeah, absolutely. Huh? Yeah. I mean, we don't project the projects where we use marble a lot, but we use a lot of marble because it's a beautiful material.
Any favorite architects or architect of all time?
Can't pick one. It's so challenging, right? I mean, like Chennai, India, abroad.
You can even say Howard Rock.
I haven't seen any of his work, so I really wouldn't know.
Fictitious fellow.
Yeah. Oh, it's too many. Can't really put my finger on one. It's like,
Sollu.
Bro, this is like you take me to Gangotri and say which chart you like. I'll say I want 4 charts.
Sollu, four architects paid.
Okay. I love Tadao Ando's works, not because of how much he does, but with so little he's able to create so much of impact. I can never do that. I feel in India you can. I mean, my mindset I can't do. I feel like we can't be a Bon Jovi or you can't be a musician. You have to be like an A.R. Rahman. You want a romantic song, I'll give you a romantic song. You want a hype up song, I'll give you a hype up song. You want to give a sad song, I'll give you a sad song. I think that's the kind of approach we have. But internationally, right, these guys are like, they have their style and they can just take their style all across. So that's fascinating for me. So that way I say that. And in India, Charles Correa, he's a OG. Love his work.
One or few buildings in Chennai that you think is really well designed and inspires you.
In Chennai, I don't think I've seen anything like that.
Yeah?
No, nothing.
That's the irony.
Not because people can't do, probably it has never happened yet. There are enough people, more than enough people who can talented, who can do it. But I haven't seen the right project being given to them probably.
Okay. Minimalist or maximalist?
I'm a maximalist. Super maximalist.
Okay. Biggest red flag in a client brief? இது இருந்தா உருப்படாது.
அதுவா எனக்கு தோசைல பன்னீர் பட்டர் மசாலா வேணும் அதுலயே ரைத்தா போட்டு கொடுங்கன்னு சொன்னா
when they mix lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. So when they themselves don't know, I mean, it's okay for them not to know, but they can't be so sure saying, எனக்கு தெரியும் இதான் சூப்பரா இருக்கும். That really doesn't work.
Okay. One app or tool you can't work without. I can't live. Or
I use a tool called Trello. I don't think I can do without that app. It's not a design app. It's more like a planning or scheduling kind of a thing.
Okay.
I use a lot of that.
Any trend, design trend or interior trend, something that you secretly hate?
Yeah. What is it? Lures.
Lures, no?
Yeah. The interiors? Charcoal lures. Wall panels, charcoal lures. Fluted panels. Yeah. There are like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 options of those. So, no, it's not like I don't like. It's because, see, these are something which are easily shown to different clients, no?
Overrated.
It can be beautifully done also if we choose. Now, when you try to do A, then they bring A to Z, Z plus 5, Z plus 7 and show you other options. It's like, it's flooded with too many options. So I think they just overkilled it.
Last one. Design in one word.
Adventure.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done. Thank you, Kishore. And you guys can ask him any questions. We have the next 10 minutes for that.
What was the initial days of starting the business? What was your parents' view after starting the business?
How did his parents feel after starting the business? How did Mr. Matt?
Initial projects வந்திருக்கலாம்.
Yeah.
You would have been idle in home or office. Some friends சொல்லிருக்காங்க. You would have gone into IT.
Thankfully, neither of our parents were really worried about the amount of money we were making. Probably secretly they would have told, "Even முதல்ல engineering படிக்க வச்சிருந்தா உட்கார்ந்து இதெல்லாம் பேச தேவையில்லைன்னு." But at least they never brought it to us. And probably they also knew back of their heads like, we've raised up pretty decent kids. They know how to come up in life. So they have the confidence in us. And we also reciprocated saying, we didn't really violate our time. We really were grinding day in and day out. They could see that. And once they saw the results, they understood that we would definitely take care of ourselves.
Yeah, after how many years you started your own office and hired your first employee?
My first employee, yeah.
When did you start?
2013.
No, actually there is some phase where since you said you have a partner.
Yeah.
Where you can work in your home or your picnic cafe.
Yeah.
After how many years you started your own office?
Premises. He's asking about the premises.
Own premise, okay.
And your first employee.
Right. When we started, it's a very interesting thing. My partner was still working. He was in another office. I came back and I wasn't really happy with where I was working. I finished this international project and then I was just happily spaced out and zooming around. And then the first person who we actually hired was not even an architect, it was an intern. And the first projects we actually did from my own bedroom. So I put in a table next to my table and then the intern would come to my house and his breakfast was in my house. And then we would just chill and start working. We were attempting a lot of international projects that time. So even he enjoyed the international project attempting exposure and I was also doing a lot of that. So we just used to come home and just jam. That 3 months went off like that. And that's how we started attempting different projects. And once the very first opportunity to actually set up an office came through one of our clients. In fact, a client told us saying, why didn't you actually set up a space of your own? You guys are doing everything. You take my calls, you deliver whatever I want, but I don't see you guys having an office. So he said, if you want, I'll sponsor for your office also. So we didn't take his funds or anything. Just the word that somebody said, I can actually set up an office for you was enough for us to say, இன்னொருத்தையவனா நம்மளை பார்த்து நான் செட்டப் பண்ண சொல்லக்கூடாது. Yeah. So that's how we actually.
When did you take your first office?
2014.
14 la. எந்த office?
Paris.
Paris.
Yeah.
Inga Adyar, when did you move?
Adyar, we came 2016.
16. You've been here for the last 9 years.
16 we came.
Niche restaurant focus பண்ணலாம் next week.
Yeah.
Restaurant. And orientation focus on the restaurant வந்து very good booming from இருக்கு நான் பார்த்துட்டு and the design process எப்படி approach பண்ணுவோம்.
How do you approach restaurant design process?
Right, when everything is totally different compared to the rest of the products.
True. You first have to be a customer of something before you become a designer or something. Right. So
I was actually expecting a technical answer.
no.
Same thing. எந்த இடத்துக்கு போனாலும் we architects, designers, engineers to a fact. இதை எப்படி பண்ணிருக்கலாம், அதை எப்படி பண்ணிரலாம்னு சொல்லுவோம். Imagine in a resto bar after the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
We've done that.
I know.
என்னடா லைட் போட்டுருக்கான்.
So, I mean, not just for this particular segment, any particular niche, as a matter of fact, you either have to be a user of that or you have to really passionately study that thing. One of these two is what you have to do. For me, we've been a user of this particular segment for a long time. So, and இது ஒரு design பண்ண chance கிடைச்ச உடனே it was like a laddu கொடுத்த மாதிரி. Wow, we wanted to do so many things like this when we are using it. Now we have a chance and we're going to go gung-ho about it.
So the answer is the user. What experience you give for a user in any space. Resto bar, it's more of the vibe and gathering.
Yeah. When we design a project, right, we really have to break it down. இப்போ எல்லாரும் இது பண்றாங்க. இப்போ நாங்க பண்றோம்னா what is the differentiator? That is the first premise with which we start the design. Anybody can do this. XYZ can do this. What is it so specific that these guys did? For example, when we say we did so many theaters, right? There are so many people who did theaters before, but when we came to start designing theaters, there's something called Sthala Puranam, which means like the the significance of a location.
The story.
A story. So when we design a project, we look at where the project is and what aspects of it can you tie to it, because cinema is so generic. No, the main thing is the movie. Theater is no big, it's big black box. You come in, you watch, and you go. So when the cinema is the hero, when the movie is the hero, what else can we add to it? Some significance to it. So when we designed a project where there was a small town called Pileru. So Pileru means a small streams. So we took the stream as a concept and we designed the whole chandelier like a small stream. So then the client, whenever people came, they said, "Namma oorla river da ceiling light." The moment you make your client talk about what you've done, no, you're sold. That's it. They take ownership of concept. They say, "Naan da idea ve kuduthan ungalku. It's my idea that should have come." If you make them say that, right, you're a hit. That's it. Because until then, they'll take a picture. It's a nice place, and then they'll walk away. But once you start, when people start conversing about it, then it makes a lot of difference. There's another project where we did a contractor turned into a theater owner. So he was building it. Actually, this is a very unique, peculiar case. This is one of the very first theaters we did. It's called Pedanandipadu. This place is 80 kilometers inside a highway. So we were doing something else with this client, and then he said, "Sir, there's a theater we're doing. We want you to help us with this." I said, "On the urla, who's gonna do? Nobody's gonna do. You're joking around. We're not gonna do this." He said, "No, this is my hometown. My house is here. I grew up here. So definitely we want to do." I was reluctant to go, and one day he, in the pretext of showing some of the project, he put me in the car and kidnapped me, and we took me to the site. Once I go to the site, I understood he picked up an old theater, and then he was renovating it, not knowing how to renovate. So the screen is here. You're supposed to put arrow there, and it's going to come like this. Theriyama, they built the whole stairs this way. So I was trying to figure out where the theater screen is. He said, "Screen is at the back. Where's the projector? The projector is there. How are you going to sit? You're going to go like this." So it's like, this is why I've been calling you for so long. Things are not going fine. So when I went to the place, it was like full paddy fields, one small plot. And that evening, that scene was etched in my mind. Beautiful evening, golden hour, this birds coming down and settling, his workers going around with materials and all that. So once we came back to Chennai, we started designing the project. Then I said, let's do something really charming for it, because if he's so passionate about it, let's do something that matches his passion. And we designed the project that got published internationally, published nationally, all that stuff. And that's how the whole journey started. So where we used their project installation was, this is man bandhan solluvaanga, where they carry this metal baskets to carry the material. So we asked the workers to give all those to us, and we refurbished and made it into art installation in the whole thing. So அந்த ஊர்ல ஒரு art installation பண்ணிருக்காங்க, the big word spread and stuff. So that's how that became a talking point. So like this, whatever project we do, there's always something to speak about. So if you're able to create a sense of relation from the client, some source of inspiration where you can tie all these knots, right, then that becomes your project. Nobody else can replicate it. Nobody can, you can take a picture and replicate it, but there won't be any soul to it. But here, you can talk about it, the client can talk about it, I can talk about it. Nobody else can talk about it.
You spoke about the first project you did, the international project.
Yeah.
Do you think that is where you learn to do that 45-day thing for the bigger project that we are talking about in the time right now?
That was the first project.
Also, and how did you come up with this idea? Like basically, this structure of doing things within 45 days. I mean, we need to do design, we need to execute, we need to go 2 and 4 to the
Correct.
How
Correct.
to do that?
Okay, one, I don't think he does all projects in 45
No,
days.
not all of our work is 45 days.
Example அவ்வளோ செத்து போயிடுவேன்.
Yeah. You can't do every project like that. Every project demands its own time and effort. See, this 45 days, what he was referring to was there's a developer who had someone else sitting on the project, but they couldn't deliver. And I had done 2 more projects for him before. So it was more like an SOS call. He picked up the phone and said, Kishore, I need this to be done. My launch day is this. So that is how I put a 45-day timeline and structure to it. And so it's not like I said saying 45 days to finish this thing.
How do you take projects like client up, and the idea about requirement?
காசு.
Yeah, initially it's cost தான்.
Initial stages.
ஃபஸ்ட்டெல்லாம் காசு தான். காசு கொடுக்குற மாதிரி இருந்தானா ப்ராஜெக்ட் சைன் பண்ணிடும். I like it all. First 5 years was like யார் வந்தாலும் எது வந்தாலும் we used to do. Growing up.
Client-க்காக வந்து சில projects we'll do for client.
Yeah.
Not for the money, but சில projects for pride.
See, even now we take decisions like that. For example, we have a very influential client. Maybe we know we won't get much money from him, but we'll do it. Because his influence will actually give us a lot of mileage for us to push our company forward. Sometimes we know a client who can pay really well but is a nag. So we'll charge him more for the nag and we'll still take the project. So you need to judge what you get out of the project. Ultimately, your client will get only one thing design, but you can get multiple things out of a project. There have been fantastic clients who became friends and who became the investment partners, and so many different things have happened. So, like I said, it's a beautiful journey. You can never decide on the day one. One thing you can decide is how you want to be in the project. That's one thing you can decide. You can't decide how the clients will turn out.
So you're planning to start as a freelancer or a firm. Do you think it's essential to have a partner with you? So, who was an individual because you had a partner?
Yeah.
Do you think it would have made a difference if you had a partner?
See, the answer for that would be for you to understand what your skill set is and what you are truly. For me, I know what my drawbacks are. I can't sit down and plan anything. I can't do AutoCAD. I mean, I can. Not that I can't do. I can. But that's not my cup of tea. My interest was something else. And my partner was damn good at it. He's like a sniper in that. I said that's the best combination. He should do that. I should do this, and that's how we can work together. But having said that, it's not necessary that there has to be a partner to offices. It's your skill set and it's your amount of time and effort which you're willing to put into it.
Just to add on to it, does everybody need a partner? Knows the answer. Will life be easier if you have a partner? Only if you have the right partner. And choosing a business partner is more sacred than your life partner. Okay, there should be extreme amount of trust. The person should complement what work we do. Whatever we are bad at, they should be good at. And it should be like not a trial or one-off thing. Like come what may, you have to do அப்படின்ற இருக்கணும். And blind trust இருக்கணும். Like if they say something, it is good for both of us ன்ற அந்த இது இருக்கணும். Otherwise, it's very, very tough. I've seen these guys are good examples of partners. We've had good partnerships. I've seen really, really bad partnerships. So yeah, sometimes I don't know how people who are life partners as well as business partners, I'll be amazed by.
Oh, we should award them separately actually.
இதோ இருக்கானுங்க பாரு ரெண்டு பேர்.
Mantaanga award.
That's very, very tough to manage.
Yeah.
One last question, anybody?
Actually, if you are taking up a residence or commercial, do you set deadlines? Because we charge in square feet. So, like, okay, let's assume like, if you are designing a house of like 10,000 square feet, like, okay, you are paying me X and X, Y, Z.
Correct.
So, like, I'll be working for one year or 2 years. Is there anything like that?
See, actually, we burnt our fingers quite a lot. See, thing with residence, no, I think it's like there's so much of soul that goes into it. We even forget what timeline we put into it. Frankly speaking, I don't make money in residential projects.
No, it's not about residence generally because what I face is, so I have a deadline. Like, let's take, we do commercial and retail projects. So I set up like in the agreement itself, I say like 2 months or 3 months for this XYZ amount. But still, after like in the journey, like they become like very close and you can't avoid it.
Correct.
And it's like complete loss for me.
Yeah. No, even for me. Even today also lost for me only.
Okay.
But that's a choice I take.
2-3 வருஷம்லாம் போயிருக்குடா.
Yeah.
And how do you handle a client who's educated and non-educated people? Like simply put up, someone who knows what they want and someone who doesn't know what they want and they nags up like neenga solunga sir right, because the reason why I come to a professional like you, because I don't know anything, you put it up.
Correct.
Like idella vandu time eating process like how you are handling this.
See, what we do know, we give a taste of their own medicine. When someone listens to us, they know we have thought through whatever they want and we're giving, and they appreciate it, and things move on. Sometimes what happens, we give A, then they send B, C, D. Now, if you respond to B, C, D is the problem. We don't respond to B, C, D. We send them E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. We send him 50 more content. Now he's confused. Now he's helpless. He doesn't know what to do. Now he says, sir, நீங்களே தான் பார்த்து கொடுத்துருங்க.
So like how do you handle like a family of clients, because they say like
How do you handle family clients? He understood.
Family clients.
He understood.
Yeah, so when you have earlier, I mean, now that we've done so much, now what we say is, we need only one deciding person for this project. You can be a family of 2,000 also, but one person talk.
With regards to options, we did 15 options for a 3D view. The client was like, they were in Kanchipuram. Their taste was like, you know, the 2K, 3K rupees 3D view போடுவாங்கல, blue color, red color shape. அந்த மாதிரி they were, that was a taste. I can't complain a client for having a choice. என்ன பண்ணாலும் வந்து இல்ல வேறன்னா. We were working online that time. I still remember that பேர் நான் ஜெரின் நினைக்கிறேன், intern. Hey, do something crazy டான்ற. ஏன்னா I was losing my cool. Lockdown time already I was working for 14. Do something crazy டான்ட்டு இந்த ஃப்ளைட் இடிச்சதுல அந்த மாதிரி பில்டிங்ல இடிச்சிட்டு ரெண்டர் பண்ணி அனுப்புனா, இந்த அளவு கிரேசி ஓகேவா? And we did 15 revisions. Then the client and their kids, and the wife, they choose the 8th option. Patience. ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண முடியாது. And sometimes, you know that the client is genuinely indecisive. You need to, அவங்க genuine indecisive இருந்தா, you have to help them. You have to help them make the right choice. You can't rush, okay? But சில பேர், I paid you, so I will ask anything நானா, அங்கெல்லாம் அப்படியே கட் பண்ணிடுவோம். இதெல்லாம் first, like, over a period of years, you learn psychology. பார்த்த உடனே நமக்கு அந்த ஒரு வைப்ஸ்ன்னு வாங்கல, not exactly vibes, but you will understand from the choice of words they use, the questions they ask. அதை வச்சே இவங்க நமக்கு வேணுமா வேணாமான்னு தெரியும். அது மாதிரிலாம் வேணான்னு சொன்னாங்கன்னா, we will not say we won't doனால ஒரு 500 rupees per square feet, 800 rupees per square feet போட்டு அனுப்பிடுறது. யோசிக்கவே மாட்டேனால, நீ வந்துடாது, அப்படியே வந்தனா இவ்வளோ காசு கொடுத்தனா பரவாயில்ல, நீ என்ன வேணாலும் என்ன கேள்வி பண்ணலாம்.
Also, it's very difficult for anyone to choose when you have too much of options. If there's more than 3, right, it's your mind cannot decide.
Actually, they are coming and ending up with the first option after seeing everything.
Precisely. So you give them 3 good options. Rest 7, let it be shitty, because you have to guide their mind to the right option.
And always one hack I'll tell you, whenever we are doing revisions, when you're sending the presentations to client, let's say you're at the 4th option, either let it be plan or view or whatever it is, give the 4th option. Always cumulatively add all the previous work. So my presentations la eppadi irukumna, and for 3D view or design development we have a process and then only we'll explain. அதுவே ஒரு 15 page இருக்கும். Every time they give a revision, we'll send that 15, previous 15 will be there. Third revision க்கு previous 30, 40, 100 page PDF இருக்கும். ஏன் சொல்லுங்க இது பண்ணணும்னு? அப்படி கிடையாது. இதெல்லாம் முடிச்சிட்டு நீ பேமெண்ட் கேட்கும்போது என்ன அதுக்குள்ள கேட்குறீங்கன்னு வானுங்க. Now you have to show the volume of work also sometimes. So they have to know how much we've done, so that they also feel kind of, okay, I cannot, இவ்வளோ கேட்டிருக்கோம் ஆல்ரெடி, கேட்க யோசிப்பாங்க. There are few clients, எனக்கு இன்னொரு ஆப்ஷன் எனக்கு கேட்கவா இல்லையான்னு தெரியல, ஷுவர் நீங்கள் கேட்டால் பண்ணி தரீங்க, பட் we feel badன்னு. அந்த டைம் அப்படி சொல்லிட்டாங்கன்னா பரவாயில்ல கொடுங்க பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னு டீம் மட்டும் கடுப்பாக பார்ப்பாங்க. ஓகே, so thank you Kishore, it was wonderful interacting with you.
Thank you so much.
For